That's dumb. Thank you so much. And welcome, John Dillon, back. You just get coming back here. Love seeing your face again. Well, good morning. I'm Reverend Sharon Ketchum, and it's a pleasure to welcome you here to Unity on this absolutely gorgeous day. We're having fabulous weather right now. If you're new to Unity, I hope that you received your little bag of popcorn. Thank you for popping in. And there are connection cards on the table if you'd like to get on our emailing list. If you're joining us online, you can go to our website and fill out a connection card too to stay connected to everything that's going on. We'll tell you that the coffee bar is open during service, so that's important. The other important thing is that we are a prayer ministry. And if you have concerns or something you're celebrating, we have a prayer box over there, and our prayer team will pray with you for the next 30 days, and then we forward it to Silent Unity for an additional 30 days of prayer. June is Pride Month. This is the last day of Pride Month. We had a great time at the booth over at Pride in Old Lansing. And of course, tomorrow begins July, and 4th of July is coming up. There's such a big week. There's a lot of stuff going on. Monday is Canada Day. They don't call it 1st of July, they call it Canada Day, 4th of July. And the other thing that's really important that's happening this week, it's the 60th anniversary of the signing of the Civil Rights Act. 60 years, yeah. And isn't that what Independence Day is all about, that we are all equal on that? Well, let's affirm our mission statement together. We spiritually awaken to our oneness with God, with each other, and with all creation. And this idea comes out of our vision where we see a world powerfully transformed through a growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And we say shared because we understand there's not a right and perfect path, that we honor ourselves and each other, whatever path we're on and wherever we are on that path. Let us affirm together. The enlightenment of Buddha shines within us. The compassion of the Christ moves through us. The power of Jehovah strengthens and guards us. The presence of Allah surrounds and guides us. Wherever we are, the Tao is, and all is God. And with that, we're going to say our morning prayer. And Greg is on vacation. Austin is going to fill in, and he's sick. So Lucille, our master musician, is going to be. So can we put her on this handheld? Yeah. You got it there? Okay. Lucille's, I think, done every role in this church, so I know she's always the backup to go to. Okay.
Before the craziness begins, I breathe deep within. Here I am, an empty cup. Heavenly God, please fill me up. Help me to see your great design. before the craziness begins. I breathe in you go within. Here am I, an empty cup. I pray God, please fill me up. Help me see your grand design. Lead me to a quiet mind. One more time, I breathe you in before the craziness begins.
Breathe that all in, creating this wonderful consciousness as we come together, coming from many different ways. You know, you think about everybody before you got here, it was probably a different story for everybody. It was short, it was long, you were ahead of time, you were late, you know, whatever that story might be. So as we come together like this, I'd like to offer our prayers for our neighbors around the world. And there's so much going on right now that I just keep getting this vision, probably because I was around the 70s. Remember when they used to have the guns and they have a flower in the end of it? You know, if all the guns had flowers, bullets were turned into flowers, that the skies were filled with only clouds and sun instead of bombs, and that the land was fruitful with food. There are so many places that are going through starvation right now. I mean, really serious, life-threatening starvation, that everyone in our world could have shelter, have safety, and have that sense of peace, whatever it means to them. That as humankind, that we can be both human and kind. So let us just take a moment, close our eyes, and open our heart to embrace our entire world. Those that are celebrating the end of school, graduations, vacations beginning, and those who are uncomfortable, who are suffering, looking for that help to change circumstances. We know that the strength of God is within each and every individual. That there is a power at work that is greater than any outer circumstances. And so we see all people as whole, wholly connected to the divine, even as we are connected one to another. For this truth, for our hearts open to that idea of independence, of civil rights, of freedom in the truest sense of the word, we say thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. Amen. Okay, a little moment to talk at the table here. What was your favorite road trip? What was your, everybody's taken a road trip, right? Is there anybody that hasn't had a road trip? A unity road trip. Yeah, there's been some unity road trips. So do you want to share there? Do you want to have just a group conversation? Shout them out. What was your favorite road trip? Mine was Sunday afternoons driving from Bingham to Syracuse to get ice cream. That was a long way to go for an ice cream, but it was a road trip. Where? Funny? Oh, up in the M22. Okay, sorry, I'm not familiar with the roads up here. Well, I may have been. I just don't know the names. I'm geographically challenged. Well, that's yeah, well, sometimes when they're talking, we talk over this, Greg and I do, because the people online, they don't have anybody to have this discussion with.
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite road trip?
I took a train trip with a bunch of singles to Toronto,
Oh.
and we had a blast. It was just played cards and laughed and joked all the way. It was fun.
Oh, yeah. I love train cars. You get to walk around and everything. Yeah, okay, well, we're not coming back with Temple of My Soul. We're coming back with We Come Together. I'll bring you over a mic. How's that? Okay, let's come back together. You can stand over here if you want. Yeah. This is a call and response.
Person next to you.
Take a look at the person next to you.
Say God loves you and I love you too.
God loves you and I love you too.
Take a look at
Uh,
the sanctuary.
Feel the love in the sanctuary.
Lift your voice and repeat after me. We
Come together.
We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, recognize the God in you. Take a look at the person next to you. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love.
Now we're going to ask Lucille to move over to the lectern. Because she is a woman of many talents.
Good morning. I am Lucille Olson, and I am a member of the Board of Trustees. And I'm here to welcome you, everyone, this morning. Unity's daily word is world peace, inspired by Paul's letter to the Thessalonians. Now may the God of peace give you peace at all times and in all ways. God be with all of you. Peace is meant for every person of every faith in every land. Today we look beyond the news of the world, reports of strife and conflict, even the agitation or unforgiveness in our own hearts, and find the peace of God. We believe the desire for lasting peace is within each person's heart. In prayer, we affirm this truth and envision this desire growing stronger among the world's people until peace can no longer be denied. It is our shared destiny to live in peace. When each person wants for all people what they want for themselves, harmony will blanket the earth. We affirm the peace we wish for ourselves is dawning in the hearts of others. In prayer, we see them safe and secure in the heart of God, forever in peace. Let us affirm together.
Affirming the divinity of all the world's people, I envision world peace.
June is Gay Pride Month. In celebration of that, we are sharing some inspirational quotes weekly from members of the queer community. Eleanor Roosevelt endures not only as the longest-serving American First Lady between 1933 and 1945, but also as one of the history's most politically impactful, a tireless advocate for social change, and a fierce champion of working women and underprivileged youth. But her personal life has been the subject of lasting controversy. When her private correspondence was published in 1998, there was a confirmation of her 30-year romantic relationship with journalist Lorena Hickok. The important thing is that we remember the work Eleanor did as an advocate for social change and world peace. She said, "It isn't enough to talk about peace. One must believe in it. And it isn't enough to believe in it. One must work at it." She acknowledged the divinity in all of the world's people as she held that responsibility for world peace. And now it is my pleasure to invite Matt Bliton up for some wonderful music.
It's always wonderful to be here.
Always wonderful to have you.
And the first tune today is Love Rescue Me by U2. And I changed a lot of the words, so it's U2 and Me Too. Don't tell them. There's one part that goes sha, la, 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 la. And it does it many times. And so there's an opportunity for you guys to push yourself into this sha, la, la, la thing, if you wish. Don't let me fall. No man is my enemy. My own thoughts imprison me. Said love, rescue me. Many strangers who I meet walk the world on tired feet. Maybe searching for a bit of peace. Trust love, rescue me. presence here at last. We stand at the entrance to a new world that we can see. When we shine in all we meet, our joy will be complete. We say, love, rescue me. Love, rescue me. Come forth and speak to me. Raise me up, don't let me fall. No one is my enemy, my own thoughts imprison me. We say, love, rescue me. Love, rescue me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt. Before we go on, I have a public service announcement, a couple of them. First of all, I want to thank Dick Porter's family for leaving us these beautiful flowers as we celebrated his life yesterday. Secondly, you may find a tablet going, like not an electronic tablet, like a pad, what do you call it, clipboard, going around. On the 14th, we're having our big 90th anniversary celebration, and we'd like to have an idea of how many people are coming so we know how much ice cream to get. So, this is not written in blood, but we're just trying to get a little pulse on what's going on, so we'd appreciate it if you would sign that. Let me see, is there anything else? There's been a lot going on here. Just thank anybody sitting next to you, because everybody's been doing so many good things. So just say thank you to the person next to you. You know they've done something good, just to brighten your day today. Okay, so we are at summertime. It's time for a road trip, and I'm thinking this is a spiritual road trip. Sometimes a road trip is also called a pilgrimage. I've been on a couple of them this year, in different parts of the world. But the definition of a pilgrimage, I love this, the inclination towards a willingness to live in perpetual discovery, taken in the form of an outer worldly path. Right? Yeah, perpetual discovery. So you could have a pilgrimage to the grocery store if you were aware enough to look at the streets like for the first time. And we drive by things we don't even see what we're driving by half the time. Did you ever get someplace and wonder how you got there? Because your mind just went someplace else while you were driving? Another definition of a pilgrimage is to move in unknown mystery and allow grace to unfold. Wow, just to move in unknown mystery. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, that just so touched me, these ideas on that. So our life really is a summer road trip all the time, and it can be that pilgrimage all the time. So I want to know where you've been, because some places I haven't, some places I've had. I have been. I haven't been in cahoots, because you need somebody else to go there with you. Cahoots, in cahoots. Okay. I haven't been incognito, because nobody recognized me there. Okay, here we go. You have to be driven to insane. I've been there a few times, driven by family, friends, weather, you name it. There's a lot of vehicles. Sometimes I've been in love. Right? That's a place you don't want to leave. You just kind of want to linger there. How about, have you ever been insecure? Or insincere, I'm sorry, insincere. Insecure is another village across the way. There's this one man who was being very insecure when he bought his wife for Christmas this beautiful diamond ring. Well, it was almost a diamond ring. It was a fake diamond. And his buddy said to him, "Why did you get her a diamond ring?" Because I thought she wanted one of those sexy little four-wheel drive vehicles. And he goes, "Yeah, but where are you going to find a fake Jeep?" He was definitely insincere with this Christmas gift, let me tell you. And then there are other times that I kind of pass through being in fear and doubt, incapable, insecure, all those different places. So we're always kind of traveling, and of course we're traveling through all these different states of mind, these consciousness. Our textbook really is, our life is stories of road trips. And the best thing about road trips, they're like fishing stories. They kind of morph over time. I tell my kids how I walked uphill both ways to school, Road trips take on kind of its own mythology, its own memories. It becomes more fun. It becomes shorter. It's so long when you were a kid there on the road trip, and somehow in your memory it was just short. You just popped up there to Syracuse and got your ice cream cones. Well, the idea of the power of the myth, of the story that we get to tell about our journeys, Joseph Campbell just wrote this wonderful book, The Power of the Myth. And for me, it was one of the things that really allowed me to own the Bible, understanding that it wasn't anybody trying to lie to me. It was trying to tell me stories because regular words were too small to get the bigger idea. So Joseph Campbell said, myth is much more important and true than history. Myth is more important and truer than history. History is just journalism, and you know how reliable that is. He wrote that a long time ago. And let's face it, we all have our leanings when we tell the story, which way we go. So really understanding the myths of our journeys, of our road trips and our spiritual road trips allows us to get a deeper richness out of them. And if you think about it, the Bible's kind of a travel guide. Right? Everybody in the Bible is traveling, is moving along. So, and each of these characters represent aspects of ourself metaphysically. So Adam and Eve is kind of like our original thinking and feeling nature. Those two aspects of ourself. Noah represents rest. Remember, he's in the ark, and he has to wait in the ark for things to change for 40 days and 40 nights. And we know 40 just means as long as it takes. So we get traveling, and then you get a traffic jam, and you're kind of stuck there, and you're waiting as long as it takes, because your life just isn't ready to go to the next step. Abraham and Sarah. Abraham represents our early idea of faith developing in us, and Sarah represents our early concept and connection with our soul. And they were pilgrims that traveled all over. I mean, Adam and Eve, they got kicked out of the garden. That was the first trip, metaphysically. Noah's on this boat, waiting for things to change, waiting for conditions to change. Abraham and Sarah were part of the tribe, historically, where they had cattle and they moved from place to place, as opposed to settling. Moses, he, of course, led his people from bondage to freedom. And his journey, marvelous journey. He's a very high, connected with the Egyptian family. He was taken out of the water as his bondage baby was given away, adopted an Egyptian family, realized his people were being, slave labor, dying a lot. It was not a pleasant existence. And then, eventually leads them to freedom and to the promised land. Ruth and Naomi, it's a great little story if you ever get a chance to read it, but Ruth represents us having that connection to God, and Naomi represents us when we don't feel connected to God. And that these two women have this wonderful supportive relationship, like our emotions. There's a part of us that feels connected, and there's a part of us that doesn't feel connected. And we go back and forth in that kind of a journey. Jesus, of course, traveled all over, walking and by boat. And his disciples, metaphysically, who traveled with him, we talk about each of them representing one of our 12 faculties, ideas of strength and love and wisdom and understanding. And always it's in a journey. Always it's in transit. They're moving from one place to the other. And then Paul, the last apostle, he was always traveling, and he represents, for us metaphysically, working at overcoming. He was always overcoming. The disciples were jealous of him, so he had to overcome that animosity. He's talking to people that never heard the story that he's telling. So you can see how we're given these, almost every situation in our life is represented by some character in the Bible, doing whatever it is they're doing and how we feel about that metaphysically. So nobody in the Bible stays any place long in one time except for the adversaries. Now think about that. The adversaries are stuck, and those that are in movement, are developing. What a wonderful example for our life, that we need to travel to change us, to grow us, if you will. So those who stayed behind, King Herod, He had his territory. His family killed him. Yeah, see what happens there. And Jesus talks about the rich man that came to him wanted to enter the kingdom of heaven, and the man was so attached to his things, he couldn't let go of his things. He was just stuck there. And then the Tower of Babel, this is in Genesis, and the people were getting along so well, and they thought they wanted to get closer to God, and they thought they'd do that by building a tower that would reach God. And this didn't seem like a really great idea in the cosmos, so all of a sudden they started speaking different languages. And we've never understood each other since. But, he wanted the people to disperse, to fill the earth, not to all be congregated in one place. Then the story of Lot's wife, who, as they're leaving Sodom and Gomorrah, leaving all that mess behind, leaving all that unease, unfriendliness. I mean, it was just a real sin city in the Bible. And we're supposed to leave it behind, and Lot's wife turns back and turns into a pillar of salt. She's preserving her past. She doesn't want to let go of that story. She wants to stay stuck. She doesn't want to go on that journey to that next place. But in truth, movement is never an option in life. We're thrown into it. Just when you think you're settled, something pops up and moves you on, whatever that might be. Whether it be the seasons, whether it be a change in your job, a change in your relationship, we can never stay still as long as we're alive. So it's a really good thing. If you're moving, you're still living, right? Okay. The ego has this impetus to travel too that kind of creates a little dissonance in us about the reasons why we're traveling. A lot of times we think if we move, it's a geographical cure, we can move away from that bad situation. And sometimes it's like the grass is greener. We can move to the better situation. It's not us. We're putting everything, all the power on the outside. Ernest Holmes, founder of religious science, Science of Mind, he said, this limitation is an experience of the human race, not the fault of God, it's the fault of our perception. That somehow that soul perception, the soul is always pivotal. And sometimes we look at the outside as being the important factors. And we get drawn to, if we change the outside, then we can change, when in truth, it's the other vision. That if we look inside, that's where the change really comes. That's where the movement comes. That's where the growth and the evolution comes. Joseph Campbell talks about following our bliss. And I think when we get to the point where we find out what brings us bliss, which brings us that deep joy, it actually fuels us. That's the fuel to take that spiritual journey, if you will. So what are we going to take on this journey? Here's some of the, first of all, where are we going? Our destination, whatever you want to call it, is always our growing edge. The places where we're green. You know, those little buds come out and there's that little light green. There's parts of us that are also green in the sense of, we're green at something we're not well skilled. So our journeys take us to places where we have something to learn, something to grow. The green parts are growing edges, whatever that might be in. So first, one of the things we're going to need is our God song, and I'll tell you what these are in a little bit, our guidance system, our credit card, and our bliss bag. So here we go. So the bliss bag that we're going to take, because you always pack for a vacation, right? Some of the stuff you're not going to take. You're going to drop the baggage. A bliss bag is not about baggage. It's not about albatrosses. It's not about all your stories and your dramas and your handicaps. Just leave them all behind. And what you want, this bliss bag, there used to be a clothing line out called Weekender. And if you took about 5 pieces of garments, you could put them together and have everything you needed. So your bliss bag, whatever it is, it's the essentials. It might be prayer, it might be rest, it might be friendship, it might be connection, whatever that might be for you that brings you joy, that brings you comfort, if you will. Living in perpetual discovery. So whatever's in that bag is going to be fluid enough and grand enough that no matter what is happening, this is the thing that's going to get you through it. This is what you are deciding to take with you. Deciding to take with you. So many times we just kind of let things go because it is, as opposed to deciding I'm going to do this. It's about the difference between wants and desires. So sometimes if we put in our bag our wants, what we're talking about is what we don't have. If we want something, we're saying, I don't have it. But our desires is what we do have, what we're choosing for ourselves, that which interests us, not based on any past stories, but what our heart tells us when we listen. We listen to that internal guidance system that we have. Speaking of guidance system, because we're on the journey, we want to figure out, we don't want to get lost. Oh my God, suppose we were lost. Who knows what might happen to us? Sometimes we find ourselves, living in elsewhere or a state of confusion. So it's really hard sometimes to get that journey going when you're living in a state of confusion. Maps aren't always up to date. We may look at different books. We may listen to people talking, theologies, conversations. All this stuff is going on around us, which is even more confusion, more disconnect. So we need this guidance system that's really going to help us go through. But part of the other thing is travel blindness. Travel blindness is seeing those things we see each day and not seeing them. This is about places. It's also about people. Excuse me. We look at people every day, but how often do we see them? Just take that moment. Seeing with our heart. Making that connection. And probably the closer somebody is to us, the less we actually see them, because it's every day. So we get that travel blindness in our life, that we don't think anything's happening because we're just not really being aware. So the GPS for us, our guidance system, is Satchidananda. I'm probably butchering that. It's a Hindu word that means bliss, finding where our bliss is. And listening to that still small voice guidance session reminds me of this sailor that was out, and he had had a shipwreck, and the storm had come up really fast. And he saved himself by grabbing onto this rock, and he held on to the water, calmed down and everything. And so when he got rescued, got back, his friend said to him, "Weren't you shaking holding onto that rock? All this going on around you." And he goes, "Yeah, I was shaking a lot. My hands were shaking, but the rock wasn't." So finding that thing that even when we are shaking, when we're in the middle of a storm, when we are in grave danger of being driven insane, driven into fear, whatever that might be, finding that rock that we can hold on to no matter how hard we shake, that it won't move. That deep core of our spiritual faith, that deep idea that we are connected to something that is so much bigger than us, so much bigger than our conditions. On the ships, the older ships before we got into all this new radar and stuff, they used to have 2 compasses on a ship. Did you know that? One compass was on the main deck and one was up the mast. The reason they did that was, on the main deck there was a lot of iron equipment. The big pull things to pull the sails up. I'm sure there were guns or cannons on some of the ships. So those things made the compass go wonky. They couldn't tell what was going on. So once they get out to sea, the captain would ask for the direction from the mast, because that was away from all those things that affected the direction. 2 directions. And isn't that like us? Sometimes that one compass is just so caught up in the pull of our environment, the pull of the circumstances, what's happening, that we think we're heading in the right direction, but really been pulled off course from those things that are outside of us. That pull of fear. But on the mast is that whatever we need to do to get into that true alignment with Spirit. Whatever it is, and it may be different for each of us, probably is just a little bit different for each of us. We have our own individual way of connecting to that is whole and deepest within us. Ralph Waldo Emerson, God bless him, he says, "From within or from behind, a light shines through us upon things. It makes us aware that we are nothing, but the light is all." Where are we shining our light? Light is like that compass. Light is like that compass. There was this captain of a ship, I seem to be into ships today, and he was going on his route, and all of a sudden he had this nudging that he needed to fly to take the ship over to Ascension Island. And Ascension Island is not inhabited, and all of his helpers are saying, "Wait a minute, this is going to throw us off course. We're on a timetable. We need to get this cargo into the port on such and such a day." And he says, I don't care. I just have this great feeling I need to go over to Ascension Island. And so in spite of everybody advising him against it, they start heading that way off their route. As they get close to this uninhabited island, they notice something on the beach. It's white. It's actually a symbol of being in distress. And there have been 16 men that have been stranded there, and they'd given up hope of ever being rescued. It was on nobody's route, the trade routes. But he followed that inner guidance, even though it didn't make sense. Even though everybody else told him, you're out of your mind. We're not going to make our goals. We're not going to be on time. I tell you, there are 16 men that are very grateful, and I'd love to know the follow-up stories of what those men did with their lives and generations after them, because this one man followed that inner guidance. The ripple effect is just huge. Their children and their children's children. Okay, take a breath. Did you notice the gas prices? You can always tell when it's a holiday. I'm just amazed of how it becomes more expensive to pump oil when there's a holiday than when it's not. But as we're on this trip, remembering that everything is energy, when we're following our bliss, the bliss is an energy source itself too, but everything is energy, which means it can't be destroyed, it can't be created, it only can change form. So it's a good idea, since you're going to need a lot of energy on this trip, to have a credit card, a card that gives you that energy, if you will, because there is a cost to the energy that you're going to use on this spiritual trip. And remembering that the energy, that the attraction of like attracts like, is stronger than opposites attracting. So wherever we set our minds, set our course, we're more likely to draw more of that into our experience. If we are able to find bliss in the idea of love, we're just going to draw more of that into us. If we think we're being happy when we're angry and right, the universe supplies us with more of that too. It's just a great energy flow. We get to choose what kind of energy we're using. If you think about it, there's casual direction, where you're kind of wandering and end up here and like that. There's also causal direction. Causal direction is when we set that intention. It doesn't necessarily have to be for specifics. Like even when you make a treasure map, I always think it's more about the feeling you're driving for than for the specific outer things, that you want to feel connected, that you want to feel comforted, that you want to feel inspired. Looking for that causal thing to give you the energy to move through. So instead of saying, I can't do this, I can't do that, that's beyond my whatever, it's really about saying, I choose or I prefer, really realigning that energy into that vibration that what's going to cost you will bring great dividends. So investing in that idea can bring dividends into you, bring more energy. So don't leave home without it, as that one credit card says. Don't leave home without those words like I believe, I expect, I love, I am. And now the God song. And this is probably the most important thing to take on a spiritual road trip. There is a tribe in Africa that the date of the child's birth, is the first time the mother thought of having a child. And so, a child when it's born could be 3 years old, who knows? And the mother, when she has that thought, she listens to hear the song of the child. And she keeps that song with her. And when it comes time to conceive the child, she teaches it to her partner. And while they're making love, while they're physically, biologically recreating, they stop periodically to sing the child's song. Isn't that beautiful? And then as the woman is pregnant and waiting for the child to be born, the woman will teach that song to the older women and some of her close friends so they can sing the song to the child also. And then when the baby is born, the whole community learns the child's song, and the whole community sings a song to it, which is beautiful. What a beautiful way to enter the world. What a beautiful journey. But past birth, there are things that happen. And so when the child hits one of those mile markers that we have in life, graduating from whatever, or learned a new skill, the community will celebrate them by singing their song to them. And those times, when the child does those things that are less than kind, that are harmful to other people, that they have broken the law. The village, instead of punishing them, brings that person into the circle, and they sing their God song to them to remind them who they are. To remind them who they are, instead of punishment, loving them into their song. I mean, that, we had this whole idea of punishment, still Old Testament thinking, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, as opposed to love your neighbor as yourself. It doesn't say if your neighbor's done wrong or whatever, just love them as you love yourself. So I just think it's such a beautiful way to approach it, knowing that each of us have our song. And what song is it that we need to sing to ourselves to remember who we truly are? What song do we need to sing to ourselves? Okay, so the essentials for our spiritual road trip, which we're going to take over the next couple of weeks, we want our bliss bag, contains no dramas or albatrosses in there, a guidance system that is beyond being swayed by whatever might be happening outside of ourselves, a credit card, we have that energy, give ourselves credit for what we do know, give ourselves credit for even consciously being on the journey, and remembering to sing our God song. And with that, we're going to enter into a time of meditation. Just take a deep breath and invite you to close your eyes for a minute, if that's comfortable for you. Allow your body to just rest into the chair. That chair has nothing to do right now other than to support you. It wants nothing from you, only to fulfill its purpose of support in this moment. As we settle into this awareness, this presence, the glory in this very moment, the sacred now, we recognize that whether we are aware of it or not, we are in transit. We are taking step after step. And we have that opportunity to become conscious, cognizant, that this is a learning journey to our growing edge. That place where we do not know may frighten parts of ourselves. And at the same time, excite our souls. Excite our intellect. Excite our emotions. We go forth with that beginner's mind, throwing away the blindness and the blinders, that we see all things as if it's the first time. And we get blessed again and again and again by the beauty, by the awe, by the curiosity, the intricacy of this very world in which we live. The many blessings that are continually pouring down upon us as we grow into our growing edge. We become closer and closer to knowing our identity, our God song, understanding the fullness of those two simple words, I am, our true name. I am what I will. I am what I accept. I accept what I love. I love what I am. I am. And so we hold our ticket. We discover the mode of transportation. We allow the divine to be our guide and find great joy in this journey. And so it is. Amen.
Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. Morning sun coming through the trees, and the green leaves shimmering in the summer breeze. The songbirds singing to the honeybees, living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. After the dazzling days run, the moon makes love to the setting sun. The stars come twinkling one by one, living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. We are living lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God.
Thank you, Lucille. So, spiritual practice for the week: let go of anything that stands between you and following your bliss. Okay, and with that, I get to invite Matt back up here to bring us a little bliss, music bliss. Oh, well, while he's setting up, I forgot part of the public service announcement. As many of you know, Ron Shepard passed, and he has an apartment full of furniture. If anybody needs dressers, there's some canned food, a couple of TVs there. Speak to Jerry Padani over there in the green shirt. We need to have, whatever we're going to take, we need to have out of there either today or tomorrow. So if you need, there's a dinette table. You can ask Jerry if there's something that's on your mind, you know somebody that needs something. And with that, you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, I would love to turn this over to you. It would be my bliss.
I want to take this time to thank these guys, because I come every week and they make me sound good. I don't come whenever I come. Steve, John, and filling the big shoes of Jeff is another John. Thanks, buddy. Another song. I confessed to the last song that I changed lyrics, and this time I stole the music and the lyrics. The lyrics come from Matt 5.3 to 12, so it's New Testament stuff. Bless all the poor in spirit, heaven is theirs, heaven is theirs, heaven is theirs. Bless all the poor in spirit, heaven is theirs. You better believe it, those who are poor in spirit, the kingdom of heaven is theirs. Bless those peacemakers, the children of God, children of God, children of God. And those peacemakers, call them children of God, not the movers and the shakers, it's those peacemakers, call them the children of God. Blessed are those who mourn, they will be comforted, comforted, comforted. Blessed are those who mourn, they will be comforted. Bless those who mourn, they'll be comforted. The pure of heart, they will see God. They will see God. They will see God. The poor in heart, they will see God. They've done their part. They've purified their hearts. Surely they will see God. Blessed are those who heaven is theirs. Heaven is theirs. Heaven is theirs. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Heaven is theirs. You better believe it. Those who are poor in spirit, the kingdom of heaven is theirs. Better believe it. Those who are poor in spirit, the kingdom of heaven is theirs. Thank you very much.
We have a duo for platform coming up here. Chelsea is new to the congregation, perhaps, and the old one, Casey.
Hi. Now is the time where we do our sacred circle of generosity. Oh, it didn't stay down. Better? Okay. By sharing of the blessings we have received, we know that the gift we give is not a debt we owe, but a seed we sow, from a consciousness of abundance. If you are donating by check or cash, please place your gift in the glass jar on the table. If you are donating electronically or by other means, you can take a moment and place your hand over the jar or your heart, and you can also use one of the affirmation tokens. We bless our gifts as we share of our love and our treasure by affirming together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I praise, give thanks, and am glad. Forming a circle of generosity, we thank everyone for their continued generous support of Unity through many channels, electronically by mail and in person. Our circle includes acts of gratitude for these many gifts by sharing of our gifts with others. You, as a congregation, voted to share our tithes for the second quarter with the Southside Community Kitchen, a group of local organizations who have gotten together to feed the hungry people of Lansing. We'll continue acknowledging our blessings by singing, I am so blessed. I am so grateful. Just kidding. Same thing.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to left of me, gratitude to right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me, gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude both of me, gratitude the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I am grateful. I'm so 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 grateful.
I'd like to invite Derek to lead us in a blessing of the gifts we have received as a community.
Given in love, received in love, we dedicate these gifts to do the will and the work of Holy Spirit, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you. Today, the Sage Education team is sponsoring a movie and pizza day, showing the movie The Legend of Bagger Vance following service. This sports film with an all-star cast has a plot that is loosely based on the Bag-O-Vadita. So it's a film you will enjoy on many levels. Love offerings appreciated to cover the cost of pizza. The Lunch Bunch is a monthly social group that meets for a no-host lunch. Friday, July 5th at 1 p.m., we're meeting at the Delhi Cafe on Willoughby Road. It is helpful to contact Nancy Clater or the church office so we can reserve enough seats, but if you become free at the last minute, you are always welcome. A reminder that this is photo day for our 90th anniversary church directory. Greg Edwards has a little setup over there, it's very cute, is donating his photography talent, so no charge for the photos. We encourage everyone to participate. If you missed today, you'll have one more chance on July 14th for our 90th anniversary celebration. On the tables are copies of the Unity Pulse for July, and inside the newsletter is an invitation to our 90th anniversary celebration on July 14th. If you know people who used to come to Unity, please pass the invite on to them so they can help us celebrate the 9 decades Unity has been active in Lansing. Yes? So there's extra invites on the sidebar if you didn't hear that, so you can take them and pass them along if you would like. Event information is also on the information rack and our website, unitylansing.org. And now let us stand, creating our circle of conscious community as we sing the peace song, followed by the prayer for protection. Sure, yeah. Sleep now, what's inside? I thought what happened. There you are. light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God is within us. Wherever we are, God is.